Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. Today, we're embarking on a remarkable exploration as we shine a spotlight on Nigeria's progressive embrace of digital assets and how it's reshaping the nation's economic landscape. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. You're watching Tech Talk. In a world that's becoming increasingly digital, Nigeria has emerged as a beacon of digital innovation and financial transformation in Africa. Nigeria is carving a unique path by embracing the transformative potential of digital assets. The rise of digital assets such as cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology has opened new avenues for economic growth, financial inclusion, and technological advancement in the country. Cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and digital assets are more than just buzzwords. They're changing the way Nigerians invest, transact, and plan for their futures. Join us as we uncover the stories of entrepreneurs, experts, and innovators from Lagos to Abuja and everywhere in between who are leveraging these cutting-edge technologies to empower individuals, streamline businesses, and drive economic growth. We will show you how ordinary Nigerians are harnessing the potential of digital assets to secure their financial future.
When you say digital asset, it doesn't really mean only money. I think that's where most of us are getting it wrong. So digital asset is any asset that is digitized and also built on a new technology called the decentralized ledger technology or powered by the blockchain itself. And where formerly you can get it to be on the internet, now you can get it. So it means your house on the internet is digital asset, right? Your car on the internet is digital asset, not on the picture the way we know it the other side, is to actually have it on the blockchain that we can derive value from it, and you can have even fractional ownership of those properties. Those are all digital assets. Well, I think if I have to tilt it to the question you're asking, is to say, can people profit from it? And that's where you're saying, can people get value? So from the digital asset, which is the cryptocurrency part of it, is the speculative asset. And when it is, a lot of people tell me, oh, you guys that are doing this crypto is too volatile. And we say, oh, the volatility is actually the key there. Because when it's volatile, it means I can get something very low, and all of a sudden it can skyrocket to make me richer. And the same way, it can also get it, when it gets you up and you're not out of the asset, you can also get poorer because it goes in the same magnitude. And I tell them, because of the volatility, that's why the young people are attracted to it. I will not literally say people should invest, but I would say invest in the knowledge. You know, learn about what it's all about, learn about the volatility we just talked about now, learn about the risks in there, and learn about the opportunity, which is what many people concentrate on without looking at the risks and some other things that are embedded behind it. So a lot of people can profit if you understand when to actually buy this low. So there's what we call the Bitcoin monetary policy, for example. They're halving every 4 years. So when you capitalize about your knowledge, you know when possibly this will go low. You know when it is doing its lowest, and you know how to buy. You are anticipating that after 4 years or another halving, the possibility for it to rise again to all-time high is there. So with this knowledge, you can actually profit and make some money out of it. This asset itself, making money, or people using this asset making money, and that's what I just explained. By trading it, by buying stuff online, by actually bringing that your asset that is moribund, that is not driving any money, to bring it into an economy where people can co-share, co-invest in it and make some returns out of it. And, you know, it catapults economic activity. So when you say digital asset management, it can be tokenization of things that are in real-world asset, for example, which we are currently even working on some of those items. You can make things that are not hitherto not liquid to be liquid now, because you can fractionalize it and people can co-own it. So take, for example, the National Theatre in Lagos. You know, people can actually go there and the government can tokenize that, and myself and you can co-own it, And so when they rent National Theatre out for movie, for theater, for all those stuff, we can get some shared prosperity out of it because we co-own it. And so that asset will continue to be liquid. So there are many things like that. We've seen people raising billions in 10 minutes, powered by this crowdfunding capability across the world, powering a particular project. So a whole lot of things like that. People can tokenize, people can build exchanges, people can build use cases. We have a lot of use cases we build, for example, speaking to palliative distribution, which is of interest to most Nigerians, to bring transparency to that. We're building also capability for cryptocurrency taxation, which is beneficial for the government. So things like that are all things and values we can build around digital assets, really.
Classes of digital assets, you can have securities, you can have currencies, you can have proof of ownerships, right? So, for example, you can tokenize your real estate, your lands, and have them as digital assets, right? You can have your artwork, expensive artworks, as digital assets, okay? Then you can have shares, stocks, and bonds, issued as tokens, right? And they are digital assets. And also there are digital assets that are also created in form of currency because why? They are for transactional tools, acceptable within a community. Some of them are utility tokens that allows you to access products and services on a platform, So all of these things are digital assets. So what are we looking at? We are looking at a system whereby we can begin to digitize our values, and have them secured and stored on the internet, specifically on the blockchain technology, all right? And when assets are digitized, distribution and revenue generation becomes faster. I'll give you an example. If a musician wants to release an album and they want to release their album as an NFT, right, it means that this musician does not even need a middleman to sell to the final consumer. That means they can sell cheaper and make more money. So creating a whole new economy. And guess what? When you buy that piece of music, it also curbs piracy. Why? Because when it's on the blockchain, if you take a copy, you only have that copy. You cannot send that copy to me and still retain that copy. So anytime you let go of it, you have lost ownership to it. The ownership now belongs to the new owners that it has been transferred to, right? So these things makes the sales to even grow. So if 1 million more people needs it, they don't need to have you send 1 million, you send to 1 million persons. No, they have to buy 1 million new copies, right? So there are a lot of ways that this thing can be done, right? And digital assets is the way to go because we have a lot of creators, right? And we are talking about just the creators economy now. We have a lot of creators who should have their assets digitized, and they can sell this value on the internet. Of course, we are now entering the Web3, the third generation internet. So that is something that we should explore for a country like Nigeria with very vibrant youths and talented people. And then you look at the other side of digital assets or how it is applicable to our economy. It will help our systems to become more secured. It will help our resources to be more useful, right? Because when these things are digitized, they now have an identity. It will curb misuse, okay? And it will save us a lot of waste and money that is being used to try to create things in physical forms instead of having them in digital forms. Imagine if the election was on a blockchain. We wouldn't need to have all this time spent on tribunals and all of this logistics and everything would be done away with because we have digitized this value system. For Nigeria right now, we do not have a clear definition, of the industry as a whole. So there are still regulatory challenges, right? Secondly is also security. There are also still security challenges. Another one is also the area of financial inclusion, right? A lot of people are not financially included, so they have not even, accessed any form of digital service to begin to bring them into digital assets. Now, most people, if we are going to be digitizing assets, how much is the internet penetration in Nigeria? How many people have access to a functional smartphone that could enable them to access these things or to even use them? So these are some of the things that we need to look at. So it has to be like a phase. It has to be a gradual progression. Right, so we would have to start with, first of all, the awareness. That is why we are organizing the Digital Asset Summit, right? We want to open up the society, we want to open up the citizens, we want to open up our economy, private practitioners, operators, regulators, policy makers, you know, to begin to understand digital assets and begin to look into how we can start using more of digital assets than physical assets, because everything has gone tech. And with the revolution of the Web3 that is ongoing, if we do not scale up very fast, because the Web3 is a shared economy, right? It's an economy of value where we can trust to have our assets stored on a blockchain on the internet. We can transfer and transmit and transact, right? So we need to start opening up all of these things: awareness, education, empowerment, implementation, and solution and usage.
I think we are making progress. There is a significant improvement considering where we are in the 2016, 2018, right? The adoption lately, starting from 2020, after the post-COVID era, has been very encouraging. In fact, if you check statistics out there, you understand that Nigeria is one of the top 6 countries in the world that has a large chunk of their youth population involved in digital asset space. And I think this is encouraging. This is a first time in the history of technology that Nigeria is taking a front row, right, in advancement of technology. Over the years, it has been that we playing catch up, the rest of Africa playing catch up with the rest of the world. But now, in this case of blockchain and digital asset, Nigeria is taking the front row, and it's highly encouraging. One of the greatest challenges we have is that digital assets helps us to break the third world fence. The third world fence. Digital assets help us to break the third world. In other words, Nigerian or Africa has been fenced out from the whole world. You understand? You agree with me that period to now, to this era of digital assets adoption, for you to do cross-border payments and remittance has been one of the serious challenges, both for the importers, both for those who are sending their children to school abroad, getting foreign exchange. But now, the adoption of digital assets, there are many innovation products that has provided that opportunity that will help you to do cross-border remittance, receive payments in and outside of Nigeria without breaking your neck, without breaking the bank. So this has helped us, and I think the fintech institutions in Nigeria and the traditional financial institutions in Nigeria, it is high time everybody come close together to see how we can build synergies in order to harness the values and the value proposition that digital assets provided for the rest of Nigeria and Africa. And also, you cannot overemphasize the youthful engagement in terms of employment, right? The digital asset space has really provided gainful employment to a teeming youth of Nigeria. And I believe if digital asset adoption was not at the height where it is, many people would have been on the streets roaming about, will not be even gainful employment, and they will be engaging in other social vices. So it's the value is overwhelming, and we are looking forward that we grow from this point to the higher level.
That ban, the unfortunate ban, as people call it, was in February 2021, and since then we've had cryptocurrency-related transactions restricted in the Nigerian banking system. I would like to first of all emphasize that the ban is not a general ban of crypto in Nigeria. It is only a restriction that applies to Nigeria's banking and financial system, meaning that cryptocurrency transactions can still be done or completed outside the Nigerian banking system. That's just to state that. And since then, the impact it has had has there has been some negative impacts, as a matter of fact, mainly because when you keep the banking sector or the financial system away from cryptocurrency transactions, what happens is that you're driving cryptocurrency transactions underground. And many things happen underground, bad things happen underground. So what we need in the space is more of transparency. We need regulation to ensure that we have transparency in that system. The idea of banning cryptocurrency only impairs the work of regulators, including guys like EFCC, NFIU, who ought to have a lot of transparency reporting around cryptocurrency transactions. So where are we here? Where are we right now? We are hoping that the CBN will review the ban. I think that it is right. This is the right time for us to look at reviewing that ban. All right, in terms of regulatory measures, stakeholders in the space have had to work closely with relevant regulators, including NITSDA, including the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other relevant regulators to ensure that we are able to adopt cryptocurrency in a responsible manner. And I'm happy to say that we've had some positive developments. The SEC, for instance, in May 2022 precisely, issued Nigeria's first regulatory framework on digital assets in the capital markets. That's a good thing, although that has also been slowed down by what is happening regarding the CBN ban. As soon as the CBN is able to review its policy on cryptocurrency transactions in the Nigerian banking system, we expect that licensed or registered entities with SEC will now have access to bank accounts. Also, the NITSDA, which is the statutory body in charge of governing the ICT space in the country, already worked with the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to ensure that we have, for the first time, the national blockchain policy. This was approved by the federal government of Nigeria in June 2023, which means that for the first time in this country, we have a national direction. We understand what we want to achieve from the blockchain, which includes talent development, innovation, as well as promoting regulation in that space. So what we expect is that all of the regulators, including the CBN, will now come under the round table, under the umbrella of the national blockchain policy to ensure that we have responsible adoption of cryptocurrencies and blockchain generally.
So with blockchain technology, you can actually create a global access to finance. What does that mean? Now, there are limits for us to access FX in Nigeria. Look at now, dollar situation, making our currency go at a different level of inflation. Now, with crypto assets, we can build a pathway to match the global economy and funnel it back to Nigeria. What does this mean? Our local merchants could receive global payments through the crypto asset system. Our tax system, our foreign repatriation of funds could be received through crypto assets. Now, this could create another doorway or another pathway for repatriation of funds into the economy. Majorly, the blockchain technology promises transparency and the way database is being harnessed, decentralized. Now, what does that mean for the healthcare sector, for the finance sector, for housing sector? Means that the verification of data could be more trusted. And the process of verifying data is more seamless, and there are no, there's no way to affect the data or corrupt the data because it's a decentralized process. So what this means for other sector is that they can build a reputable system upon the blockchain.
We know the importance of digital assets at the moment beyond looking at blockchain. And we feel it's very important for any individuals or any business that wants to use digital assets to first and most importantly consider government policy, because without a policy you'll be working in a very fruitless way. So we feel government has actually enacted a policy to guide the usage of digital assets, mostly blockchain policy, which I feel will guide the usage of digital assets. So any individuals or business that want to do that should first and foremost look at what government has put in place that will actually aid or enhance the easy, access, easy way of actually using those assets for service delivery. For me, I'm from the education system. If I have to look at blockchain, I want to look at it based on the education system. I know it has a wide acceptability and wide use, but for the education system, I feel it will help in terms of certificate verification. We've seen it in other climes in other countries where they have been using it to verify certificates, and it makes it much more easier to verify people's identity who actually owns these certificates. With some of the problems we're having right now in Nigeria, I think a use case on certificate verification in the education system would be very, very important at the moment. Looking beyond that, if we have to look at the health sector, blockchain is critically important, because at some point you need to have people need to have medical records. And I feel tying this to blockchain and making it to be much more easier for people to be able to move around with what they have from one hospital to the other, or from one country to the other, would be much more easier as well. So in agri-tech, in supply chains, I think blockchain is actually a very deep area, an important area that we should be considering right now, because it's the future. Apart from the ML, the AI, blockchain is actually the future, because it makes service delivery more simplified. It makes exchange of information more simplified. So it is important if we look at it, and even our developers at the moment, I think it will be important if they start looking at different areas of the economy, how they can improve blockchain adoption to actually enhance our service delivery beyond the cryptocurrency that we are doing at the moment.
As we wrap up our exploration of Nigeria's digital asset landscape, the future shines brightly. Digital assets powered by blockchain technology are reshaping finance, industry, and society. Nigeria's embrace of these technologies is fostering innovation, financial inclusion, and economic growth. With a balance of regulation and innovation, Nigeria is poised to become a prominent player in the global digital asset arena. The journey of unlocking the potential of digital assets in Nigeria is not without its challenges, but is a journey filled with promise and hope. As Nigeria adapts and evolves in this digital age, it stands on the brink of a transformative era that will empower its people and drive sustainable development. Nigeria's digital future has arrived, and it's full of potential waiting to be unlocked. That's all we have for you this week. We'll wrap it up with tips to consider before investing in digital assets. My name is Dorcas Yakubzala. Thanks for watching. Investing in digital assets such as cryptocurrencies or digital tokens can be rewarding, but also comes with risks. Here are some tips to consider before investing. 1. Educate yourself. Take the time to understand the digital asset you are considering. Learn about the technology behind it, its use case, and its potential for adoption. 2. Diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your funds into a single digital asset. Diversifying your investments across different assets can help spread risks. 3. Risk assessment. Assess your risk tolerance. Digital assets can be highly volatile, so only invest what you can afford to lose. 4. Security first. Prioritize the security of your investments. Use reputable cryptocurrency wallets and exchanges. Enable two-factor authentication 2FA for added security. 5. Research and due diligence. Investigate the project or company behind the digital assets. Look at their team, track record, and community support. Beware of scams and fraudulent schemes. 6. Long-term perspective. Consider a long-term investment horizon. Cryptocurrency markets can be highly speculative, so avoid making impulsive decisions based on short-term price fluctuations. 7. Stay informed. Keep up with news and developments in the digital asset space. Market sentiment can be influenced by news events. 8. Regulatory compliance. Beware of the legal and tax implications of your investments. Regulations around digital assets vary from country and can change. 9. Avoid hype and FOMO. Don't invest based solely on hype or fear of missing out. Make informed decisions rather than following the crowd. 10. Cold storage. Consider using hardware wallets for long-time storage of digital assets. These are less vulnerable to online threats. 11. Avoid overtrading. Excessive trading can lead to high transaction fees and potential losses. Stick to a well-thought-out investment strategy. 12. Use dollar cost averaging. Instead of investing a lump sum at once, consider a dollar cost averaging strategy where you invest a fixed amount at regular intervals. This can help reduce the impact of market volatility. 13. Beware of pump and dump schemes. Be cautious of sudden price spikes followed by crashes. These may be the result of coordinated market manipulation. 14. Tax planning. Understand how taxes apply to your digital asset investments. Consult a tax professional if needed. 15. Seek professional advice. If you're unsure about your investment decisions, consider consulting a financial advisor with expertise in digital assets. 16. Emotional discipline. Keep your emotions in check. Fear and greed can drive impulsive decisions. Stick to your investment plan. And finally, 17. Exit strategy. Define your exit strategy in advance. Know when you take profits or cut losses and stick to your plan. Remember that digital asset market is highly speculative and prices can be extremely volatile. It's essential to approach digital asset investments with caution, thorough research, and a long-term perspective.